Welcome back. Today we're going to make our own Wilbur friend to go along with enjoying Charlotte's Web together. We're going to turn an ordinary toilet paper roll into your very own Piggy Pal. No fancy tools, just some creativity and, of course, the googly eyes. This craft comes to us from Artsy Crafty Mom, and it looks like a blast. So first, let's gather our supplies. We've got toilet paper roll, and then we've got a light pink craft paper, construction paper, or you can also paint it as well, whichever you'd like. This we're going to wrap the roll and some half of his ears. And then we've got dark pink craft paper for the inner ears and snout, googly eyes, and glue, craft glue or stick glue, it's fine. And we've got scissors, and then if you want to draw the shape first, you'd need a pencil. All right, pig wranglers, let's build Wilbur. So step one, we're going to start by wrapping our toilet paper roll in the light pink paper. Cut a piece big enough to cover it entirely around. So like I said, you can use your pencil or you can just eyeball it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then we're going to glue it on securely. All right, we'll trim the top a little bit, otherwise we're looking good. We're making a mess, which means we know it's a good craft. Okay, so we've got the roll covered. So now we want to make sure to get his ears, of course. So at the top edge of the roll, we're actually going to create the structure for his ears. So we're going to cut here and here, just a little slit. So opposite ends of your roll. Okay, we're going to fold down just the top opposite from the slits. Actually, we want it to interconnect, so we're going to do it the other way. So we're going to fold down the ears. Let's see a little better. We're going to kind of splice it together on there so that they stand up. And we'll go ahead and give another angle so you can see a little bit better. All right, so we're just going to try to weave them together so that they stay. We can also glue them if they don't want to stay. We just want pointy ears. There we go. Not perfect, but it's good enough. All right, so now we're going to cut the nose and the ears that'll go on the structure for the ears. And we're going to take our light pink paper that we just rolled it with, and we're going to cut two ear shapes. So triangles with rounded bottoms and two tiny circles for nostrils. From the dark pink paper, we're going to cut two smaller ear shapes to fit inside the big ones and a rounded rectangular shape for the snout. So we're going to do it together. So let's go ahead and tackle those ears. So the dark part of the ear is going to be inside here. So like I said, you can definitely use a pencil. I'm just going to freehand it. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. So we're going to cut up. We're actually going to go to another angle so you can see a little bit better. All right. So we want a rounded bottom, and we're going to kind of come up in a triangular shape. Might be too big, but we'll see. So come up, and it's going to meet at the top. You can always cut down if it's a little bit too big, which I think it is. All right, so start at the bottom, kind of round up. He needs big old ears to hear from his adoring crowds. All right, so we've got that, and then we need the two tiny, tiny little nostrils. So teeny tiny little nostrils. Okay. And second nostril. Need two. Okay. Oops. Very tiny. so now for this, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're just going to make them a little smaller. Now I think these are too big, so let's put them on. Yeah, definitely too big. All right, but that's fine because we've got the shape already. So let's try this. And Wilbur's quirky, so if his ears are a little quirky, that's totally fine. I think it suits him better anyway. All right, so we definitely want this to fit inside that, so we don't want to go too crazy here. So same shape, just a little bit smaller. That's not too bad. So flat bottom, circle up, go to the top. Okay, and then we want his nose. I think I actually got that backwards. I think we have the nostrils in this, and the nose in the light pink. Well, actually, this will work. Whichever you want. It's totally fine. I think this is what's actually called for. We'll see what looks better. Maybe we'll change our minds. All right, so I'm going to do the nostril in this as well so we can kind of see what we like. So nostril. Did a square nostril. That's all right. And a second nostril. Okay. All right. So next step, we're going to put them on. So we'll see in a second. All right. So now we're going to glue our littler ears to our bigger ears. So whatever your preferred glue is. Glue the darker one to the lighter one. Ooh, that's a lot of glue. It's going to be really on there. All right. And then we're just going to glue this to this. All right, so we're just going to glue our darker ear into our bigger ear. Okay. All right, and do the same thing for the other one. Okay. All right. Ears accomplished. All right, so we're going to have that for the ears, and then now we're going to move on to the snout. So I think the darker snout is actually going to look better since we already have the light pink paper. So glue your nostrils onto your snout. Okay. Make it quirky. Okay. Oh. Sorry, pup. Hopefully they don't come off onto your fingers. There we go. Okay. All right, so there's your snout. So the two nostrils onto the snout. All right. All right, so we've got all of our elements now, so we just need to glue it to our tube. Let's start with the ears. Better to hear you with. Different story for a different time. And we're just going to aim for those two top parts we created. Put it a little up there. And the other ear. Careful not to push too hard, otherwise you'll pop that seam at the top. Not that you can't fix it. And then we've got his snout, so he can smell his awesome, precious food. Okay. All right, something like that. We've got his snout, and then now the googly eyes. All right. Now I've opted, as the craft calls for, one bigger, one smaller, because I think it's funnier, and that way we have a little bit of personality. There we go. Doesn't help that it's upside down. There we go. Okay, something like that. All right, there you have it, your very own pig. That's some pig. He's ready for adventures on Zuckerman's farm. Let me know what your pig's name is. I look forward to hearing your creative names, and I'll see you next time.